All right, we're gonna do this, and hopefully we get some people come through. I'll see how long I want to stand up. If I get too tired of standing up and we get a conversation going, then I'm gonna take a seat. But this is different though. StreamYard now has it where I can stream whatever you're viewing on, whether you're viewing on laptop, TV, or your phone. It'll automatically do it vertically. So that's kind of cool. I didn't even know. It's been so long since I've been on StreamYard that I didn't even see all the updates. They got like 15 updates that I need to check on later today. And that's the thing too. I'm paying for StreamYard, so I should be on top of it. But anyway, we're here in the DC area, Maryland, and you can see it's fall season, almost at the end of fall. And it's a good time of year to be here for the most part, unless you get some of those cold days. I got this cat running around. Hopefully y'all don't hear her. She's active for some reason. But I don't know. I figured I'd show some of this. Drees, what's good, man? Yeah, man. Trying to just try something different, Trying to do something that motivates me a little bit to get on camera. Figured I'd set up a scene, set up the camera. Weather stayed good this morning, so I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and flex my YouTube muscle a little bit, the little bit of muscle I got. So we out here doing it like this. I did a video yesterday, also talking about fall season changing, my philosophy on travel. So I'll probably put that out. Normally I do these lives when I got a video uploaded, but it's not even uploaded yet. Still probably need another day of editing. But my thing is I just got to get more frequent on YouTube. So I've been taking a little bit of a break, a little bit of a pause, and it felt good actually. It didn't feel like I felt like I'm rushing to be back on YouTube or anything like that. But oh yeah, we got 11 people up in here. Ain't y'all supposed to be at work? It's Monday. What y'all doing at work? Y'all must be on the government shutdown. Okay, they about to open back up. So all the people who are out, I guess they're gonna be back at work. I heard they talking something about a lot of flights were canceled. Domestic flights. And I just took a domestic flight last week. I had no problems. I flew to. This gonna sound crazy. Okay, we retired. That's right. I mean, yeah, we retired. But I know you telling me maybe that is a good look. This time of day air on a Monday morning around lunch, and you can catch all the retirees because they're gonna be the only ones free. Everybody else, students, all that, they might be on their lunch break right now, but yeah, man, that's a good point. There are a lot of us out here, I guess, now. But you definitely got that government shutdown that was affecting people, affecting flights. I took a flight last week to California and back. I came back same day. I just had to handle some business out there real quick. I was like, you know what? I was looking at hotel prices and all that. I was like, I don't even feel like dealing with all that. Gas prices I saw $6 a gallon out there. I'm like, nah, bro, I can't do it. Can't do it. I can't support that activity. I can't support that. So I headed out there, handled my business, met up with one of my boys who was, close by where I was gonna be. And then that night, caught a flight out. Got back to the DMV next morning, but actually it felt pretty convenient, actually. I've never done that before. Price gouging, yeah. Cali boy, they be I'd say this to all my people that live in California. I'm surprised y'all ain't pissed. I mean, like to the point where that's all you talk about. Y'all paying the craziest prices in the world. I get it, you got good weather, but damn, I can come out and experience your weather for a week and be good. You know what I mean? Or you can still get that same weather in South America. You can go down to Lima, Peru. Might not be like that all year, but from about now till May, you're gonna have a lot of good days out there. So much cheaper. Yeah, I mean it's not California, right? But I feel like if you're making money from California and you can move around, you can probably go somewhere where your cost of living is good, post up for like 2 years, you can come back and you'll be a step above. Yeah. But either way, I think this time of year here is starting to get colder, and I do want to uh, make a move somewhere. Who knows? I might have to go through Europe, and Europe is going to be colder than even here. But if I do Europe, it'll be for a short period of time because I'm thinking what I want to do is travel with the seasons. You feel me? That's kind of what my video that I'm gonna drop maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow. I think that's the main subject of it is how a lot of times traveling is just a good way to get more sun. For me, I'm used to it. I'm used to leaving around holiday season and then coming back like springtime. So maximizing the sun's exposure to the globe as much as I can. But yeah, what's I know Thanksgiving is coming up soon. I believe most people's plans are probably to stay here in the US, spend their time with family and all that. Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm in the DMV right now, Maryland, just outside of DC. I got some video from here too, y'all. I got some video from the DC and where else? We were in DC for most of it. A little bit in Virginia, a little bit in Maryland. Um, but yeah, I got some good video. It might be a little out of date because it was warmer when I took all that stuff, and now it's getting colder. But yeah, I got some stuff, and DC does have a lot to show. A lot of stuff. It's for me, it's just one of those things when you're from a place, and I see this with a lot of content creators and YouTubers, especially in the travel space. They'll travel to all these places around the world, but never really show their own home, or definitely don't give it as much emphasis as their own home. And I guess that's kind of natural, you know. People go out and film people with interesting stories, but they never really film their family who might have just as interesting of a story. Um, and I think it's partly because it's personal, right? It's like it's your thing. You don't want to give away everything. So, but nah, I'm going to show some of the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area a little bit. But to tell you the truth, I think you can make a whole channel where you're doing nothing but this area. And I see some channels out there, and that's what they're doing. And it's informative, especially for, you got a lot of tourists that come here during the spring, summer. So it's good for them to see, how to move around, things to do, things not to do, interesting places to see, how much it costs, and all that. More informational tourist type videos. You could do a lot of that in DC. Let me see what other questions we got. Okay. Yeah, yeah, man. We can still link up. Let me know. Let me know. I think I might be going on a little date with a shorty tomorrow that I met. out here, which is rare for me. Normally, I'm not even in the mood to be doing any of that when I'm back home. I'm always like trying to do something, but we'll see. That might go down tomorrow, but anytime this week, man, we can. I think we talked about it before, but you got to hit me on the gram, man. Hit me on the Instagram. You know what it is, technology. Um, yeah, just send me a private message there or a direct message there, and then we'll set something up. Yeah, I was looking too, man. I was trying to see if there's any like DMV YouTuber groups. I haven't seen much of that at all. Um, or I've seen photography groups, which are cool too. But um, I don't know. When I see them, it looks they're all over the place. It's like one that got 71 subscribers, another one has 2,000 subscribers, and I'm trying to see what's going on with the events and all that. What's this cat whining about? Cat trying to go inside? Hold on a second. Let me see. Cat, you want to go inside? Okay, okay. Hold on a second. Hold on, I'm getting to you. Okay, okay. You cold or something? Jesus. She was in a hurry to get inside. Normally she'd be bugging me to get outside. Yeah, crazy cat. I guess it is a little cold for her. She probably I had her out here for a minute. Has Virginia recovered from the floods earlier this year? I'm trying to think, what floods did Virginia have? I know North Carolina had some mudslides, like Western North Carolina, up in those mountains. Um, I think a lot of those communities. So I'm talking about what I know. I don't know about the Virginia floods, but I know about the Carolina uh, devastation that happened out there. And if last I heard, they were still rebuilding. I heard some Amish from Pennsylvania came down there and just started setting up and just getting to work. They were putting their trades to work. Carpentry, actually not electricity, right? They don't deal with electricity, but yeah, it's crazy too. When I drove up to Canada, I did drive through some Amish towns, and I saw a few people with the horse and buggy. That you see some horse and buggy signs. That was different, but yeah, yeah, it was North Carolina. Yeah, so I saw. I think they're recovering. They're getting the help now, and it's weird too because that's like a once in a generation thing. I don't think that type of event happens there has ever happened there that I can remember. Um, but you bring up a good point though, because I that is something I've had in my head too, where I wanted to visit out there, Western North Carolina. Those and this time of year would be really good time for that with the fall leaves and everything up in those mountains. But I don't know anybody there. I'd have to try to do some Instagram recon, get some information out there, then maybe touch base with somebody and see some interesting things. Maybe get a little bit of the story about what's happening with the recovery effort and all that. Man, get these weird calls at all times of the day. Let me see what else we got here. Yeah. So yeah, it's cool though. I mean, I really do like being on the East Coast this time of year, but then it gets to a point where it's just a little too cold. And I think that's starting to happen this week. Yesterday was warm. Yesterday was like 68 degrees. Beautiful. It's like one of those days where it's like, and it was a Sunday. It happened to be on a Sunday. It's gotta be outside, bro. Got to. I don't care what you're doing. Like, we went ahead and got my nephews together. We went ahead and made a video. Like, hey, you grab this camera, you grab that camera, follow me. I'm gonna just talk. Bam. So that's the video that's coming out probably, like I said, within 2 days. You'll have two different camera angles. So, you know, when you're like, oh, how you do this? because I got help here. I got family here that can help me out with some stuff. You know, makes it a little bit easier. Um, and we did some other stuff too, downtown DC, Navy Yards, the Wharf. A lot of cool stuff in DC area, to tell you the truth. And the funny part about it is, I end up talking to people. All the people I ended up talking to when I was downtown were from around the world. Talked to one lady, she was from Azerbaijan. Another lady was from Mozambique. But here's the thing, Mozambique, I was looking at her, I heard her talking, I heard her speaking Portuguese. I was like, "Oh, you Brazilian?" She was like, "Nah, I'm from Mozambique." She had 2 kids with her. I was like, "Oh, okay." It's like, damn, that's right. They do speak a bunch of languages. She's like, yeah, her English is pretty good too. So she's from Mozambique, but obviously she speaks Portuguese. Her English is fairly good. I think she says she's decent in Spanish, and she was studying French. I'm like, damn. But I don't, maybe, I didn't ask her, but who knows? She might even work for the Mozambique embassy or something. But the one from Azerbaijan, I was talking with her a little bit, and I guess she modeled at some point. But I I want to say she is connected to the Azerbaijan government. But that's what you're gonna run into in DC. In the DC area, you're gonna run into a lot of, especially downtown, that area. That's where it's very easy for all the diplomats and stuff to hang out. And if they're single ladies by themselves, they're gonna be out there. That's a So if you visited the DC area, you want to get at the ladies, I'm gonna tell you the Wharf. If it's a good weather on the weekend, that's a spot. The Navy Yards is a spot. And they've built all that area up, man. It wasn't like that 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, they were in the process of redoing all that. And I stayed in the Navy Yards for a few months before I went out to California, and you can see all them building up the stadium, the baseball stadium, and all of that. I'm not sure if the stadium was finished at that time, but it was definitely going up fast. But now stadium's up. They got they redid the whole walking area around the Anacostia River all the way over to the Wharf. Um, but there's a little bit of a disconnect if you're gonna walk from that side to the Wharf. But walking there, they had National Guard out in an area that might have been a little bit iffy, before, especially at night. But they got National Guard doing patrols out there now. I don't know how long they're gonna be out there, but felt relatively safe, secure. People were enjoying themselves, from what I could tell. Yeah. So that's my little tidbit on DC. Like I said, you'll see some videos coming of that for sure. But as far as travel, man, still got some stuff from Lima, Peru I need to put out. Um, where else am I? I even got some stuff from Colombia still that needs to get wrapped up and put out. I don't know. Some of the stuff is just going to be late just because my editing speed, sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm learning new things, so that slows me down. And I did pick up a new skill, a new hobby recently that ties into the YouTube. But we might discuss that a little bit later. Might make a whole video about that at some other point. But once I tell you what it is, you'll be like, ah, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But it does take time away from editing, at least right now, because I'm in the beginning stage of learning that process. Travel plans for 2026. Yeah. I mean, my main plan is just to go try to stay in warm places. Try to stay in warm places. Right now it's warm to cool places, but not. I don't want to be in cold places. Right now, today is about as cold as I want it to be. I'm sure I'm going to experience more cold because I'm not going to be leaving tomorrow, right? But it's I want to limit my time in cold places this year. So, and maximize my time in warm places. Maybe not hot. I don't want to be in the crazy heat, but I prefer to be in a nice warm place. Let me make sure my focus is good. This camera was acting up a little bit earlier. I don't know why. I think maybe just because of the settings I got right here, but nah, I think we're good now. But yeah, that's it. Y'all let me know what's y'all travel plans. Where should I go 2026? If you follow the channel, if you follow my videos, then you should know most of the places I've been. But where haven't I been that you would like to see me go? This warm. Or if it's not warm, I can see somebody suggesting I go to Russia, but I think the political tensions are a little tight right now with Russia, so I don't know how that is. I wouldn't mind. I always wanted to go to Russia, man. Been wanting to go to Russia for a long time, but um, never really had the opportunity. So hopefully things lighten up between our countries, open up, and then maybe during when the warmer season, maybe I'll go. But yeah, I think I need to go. One place I want to go for sure. Okay. Well, Australia, I've been there. I was in Australia. Was it last year? No, 2 years ago. Yeah. I was there for New Year's. What New Year's was it? It was 2023 going into 2024. I was there. Yeah, it was a good time. I need to go back though. I want to go to the west side. I want to go to Perth. So I've been to Melbourne before. Um, last time I was there was in Sydney. Been to Brisbane before. But see, Brisbane, I was there a long time ago. Like first first deployment in the Navy. I was there. And Brisbane was a good time. Brisbane and then Surfers Paradise. And then went to Melbourne. Second time going to Australia was Melbourne in 2017. Yeah, 2017. Went to Melbourne. And then we popped into Sydney too for a few days with my cousin. And then I went back 2023, went down, was just in Sydney. Also, my other cousin was going to school out there. So, um, yeah, that's, I tell you, man, it's perks to having a big family. You know, when you really think about it, it's, you know, in today's world, when we can travel as much as we can, like having the ability to visit family in different continents, that's really cool. I mean, I've been like that. I've been going to different continents, visiting family since I was a kid, so it's not a big deal. But um, it's good to see family taking trips, going to places overseas as well, having their own experiences, linking up with them and all that. Yeah, man, check it out. Check it out. I got some videos on it. Got a few videos on it. My style of video. I'm not doing nothing too crazy, but you'll get a vibe of the city um, when I was there. I felt like I could have did some nightlife videos there, but I'm an older guy. Like I don't want to be going out to the nightclubs and it's full of like 20-year-olds, and I got a camera out. It works sometimes. Some places I can do it, Colombia, um, a few other places, but it gets a little old too, doing the nightlife stuff. Even though those videos get views, they sure get views. Like it's a certain amount you're going to get on a nightlife video. But we gotta switch it up, man. We gotta mature as well with the content. But if I do a nightlife video, it's gonna be in that realm of what I do. I'm not trying to show nothing too raunchy. Maybe I will every once in a while, but for the most part, it's gonna be family friendly. What else? What else? Drees, what we talking about? Have I decided where to spend the new year? Nah, not really. I can see myself being in Africa though for New Year's. Um, yeah, Africa or South America. But for the most part, the way the time is going right now, and I need to be in Africa anyway, probably gonna be in Africa. Where exactly? What country? I don't know. I can't call it just yet, but pretty good bet I'll be on the continent somewhere. And then for 2026, I definitely want to hit up Asia again. Asia's Asia just has a lot going on when you think about it. Like from Japan to I would say Cambodia, like not like it's high on my list, but you just got that range of places to go to. As I sip on this green tea from Japan, was good. So yeah, it's a good time to travel, man. I think most of us need to try to see some new places 2026. Although I don't make how can I say this? I don't make my travel plans based on, a lot of people are doing the holidays and all that stuff. I don't really base my travel plans on that. I kind of base it on a few things like where haven't I been in a long time? If I got one factor is if I got family there, if I got people I need to see, um, then two. So I'm not running around just all my travel destinations are not just for YouTube, right? Or just to give you something new to see. I'm kind of doing my travel. I want to see some places, or I need to go to some places, and then I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe I can make some videos here. So YouTube is kind of secondary to my travel. I know that you as a YouTuber, maybe you shouldn't say that, but that's the truth. Like I'm not traveling to make the videos most of the time. Some trips, yeah, maybe I think maybe last year in South America, maybe maybe Lima was that purpose, right? But then when I got there, I was like, dang, I like this place. I was like, you know what? The videos might take a back seat. I'm gonna just relax out here. Cafes, restaurants, the Malacon, running around, all that. To me, it was just a good existence. You feel me? I wonder. I gotta test this out too because I think right now we're streaming on StreamYard, so I have the two versions going: the vertical version and the horizontal version. But I think they need to update this thing so it follows you a little bit. Because if I lean out of this right here, the vertical side kind of gets a little ate up. But anyway, but yeah, that's my plans, man. As of right now, a real loose plan. Have I been to China? Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen the cities. I've seen the social media feeds of them and all that. But I don't know, man. It's China's. I would definitely want to go to China, like seeing the Great Wall of China, um, and some of those other cities as well. I think that'd be cool to see. The thing about China though that kind of bums me out is they put you on a very short visa, from what I hear. It's like a 10-day visa or something like that, unless you get some other type of visa, which I don't want to be going through that process with every country. Like I probably want to get a long-term visa for Lima, Peru. Um, maybe Brazil as well. I heard you get to do the thing, the e-visa now, and it's 10 years. So um, I'd rather get visas like that where you know you can just come back in and then there's no issues. Long as you have the same passport or you keep the same passport with that in it. Um, actually, for Peru though, they do an e-visa. Peru doesn't even stamp your visa when you go, your passport when you go in. So in Brazil with their e-visa, I'm guessing it's the same thing. Not sure. I had a 10-year visa for Brazil back when I first went there in 2006, and they gave us a 10-year visa, and then I didn't even go again before the whole 10-year visa was up. But then it seemed like right as it expired, I went back again. But yeah, so before I back then to get the 10-year visa for Brazil, it was I just went to the embassy here in DC. I just drove up there, handed in my stuff. They called like a week later, went picked it up, boom. Yeah, man. So China, yeah, China's on the list. I do want to visit China at some point, but gotta figure it out. I think there'll be a few other people that'll visit before me. I'll get some good information, firsthand information from them, and then move on. One place I want to visit in Asia though is Vietnam. That's definitely high on my list. Just because I don't know, for some reason I've always wanted to visit Vietnam. I don't know if it's like the old war movies and stuff like that. That yeah, I think that's part of it, right? Growing up in the 80s, there was a lot of Vietnam material out back in the day. So, but yeah, it's Monday, man. November 10th. Time is flying, man. Before you know it, it's gonna be Thanksgiving. I'm gonna try to be out of here before Thanksgiving. I hate sticking around. I really do hate sticking around for the holidays. I like the holidays, but as an adult, it just seems like a lot of hassle. When I was younger, holidays was perfect, man. Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that, it was best time of the year. Now it's like the worst time of the year. Just because, it's the whole, at least in the States, right? It's like the whole overblown consumerism, overall overblown, like gotta do this, gotta do that. Like you run around here, run around there. I don't want to be doing all that shit, especially when everybody else is doing it. You know? Like if I would have run, I would have run around and do it like on a day like today, when y'all, most people ain't doing nothing or they doing their regular routine, and I got to do something special. I'd rather run around and do all my stuff then. I'll run around and go see some family in the middle of the week. You know, when the roads are doing their normal thing, they're not extra packed. You get caught up in that holiday season. I mean, I get it. A lot of people have no choice, but you get caught up in that, and it's just like extra stress. Okay, you said Vietnam is next up for you in January. Okay, okay, that's what's up. Wrapping up some retirement stuff. Hold up, were you military too? I don't remember that. Maybe you was. I don't know. Yeah, but either way, yeah, I get it. You get your stuff tight, and then do your thing. You know what I mean? You get out of here. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get to. A lot of people are visiting Vietnam around that same time, actually. So I don't know. I wish I could get out to Asia sooner, but yeah, I definitely got to go through Africa first before I make any other major global moves. I mean, I can see myself going to South America real quick because it's right here, you know. before going to Africa, but before I take off and go anywhere else on the besides the Americas, it's probably gonna be if I go to Europe, it's gonna be on the way to Africa. So it ain't gonna be like going to Europe and posting up. It'll be passing through Europe, stopping in for a little bit because it's en route, and then right to Africa. But they do have a direct flight from here to Lome, Togo, which is a perfect flight. But I don't know if it's still going on. But last time I did that, it was perfect because you fly. I think the flight is at 10 at night. So you get on, you take off at 10 p.m. You get there at 11 a.m. There was almost nobody on the flight. So you just stretch out, go to sleep. You get on there, it's normal bedtime. Get out, stretch out, go to sleep. Wake up, you're there. But anyway, looks like my battery is about to top off. Let me see if I can get it charged up right quick. If I can pull this thing over, we'll keep going. If not, it is what it is. It was a test live. But hold on a second. Oh, Cat, what you doing, Cat? All right. Got the cables. I think we got a spot out there. Stay with me, y'all. Still got my mic on. So, all right. If we're still going, are we still going? Yep, we still going. Okay, let me plug in this and then plug in over here. Okay, we might make it. We might make it. Oh, damn it, there's always something. I think we're gonna make it. If you can hear me now, we're gonna make it. All right, we made it. Computer should be charging. Yep, we good. I made it. If you're just listening, if you just came in, you just heard all that, you're like, what is going on? Yeah, man. All right, now I gotta make sure the camera's focused on me because it's doing this thing again. Okay, now we back. I don't know. I'm looking at the camera, it says it's focused, but it is not in focus here. Let's see. Boom, there we go. But yeah, it's okay, Vietnam. Yeah, we're talking about Vietnam. Yeah, I just want to hit up Vietnam, man. At some point, I think 2026, I'm gonna have to do Vietnam. I don't know. But for some reason, I've always felt some kind of weird to say, but I always felt some type of closeness with Vietnam. Never been there. I've met some Vietnamese people, but even before I knew them, I still felt that way. Japan as well. And then when I went to Japan, I was stationed in Japan for some years and I had a really good time there. Um, I just I was stationed there, but I wasn't one of those guys who just was over there not trying to learn anything. I studied Japanese for a little bit, learned it. By the time I left, I was actually speaking decent enough Japanese. And then I was there for 3 years on a ship though. So you're leaving for 3 months at a time, come back for 2, leave for another 2, so you're not there the whole time. I feel like I was stationed on land duty there, I would have been fluent and who knows, I probably would have never left. Now the cat want to come back outside. What you talking about, cat? I see you. I see you. Don't be meowing at me. You was trying to hurry up and get back inside. Now you want to come back out? Nah, see, these can't spoil these little things, man. Got some video on this cat too. Nice looking cat. Black, typical black cat with the crazy eyes. Got like greenish blue eyes. I don't know. Some people might be. I feel like some people are scared of her because how she looks, but very, very playful cat. Good hearted. She plays with you. She not trying to scratch you unless you play rough with her. Anyway, somebody asked me once, like, "Oh, would you take a cat and travel?" Nope. Nope. Not unless I'm living in a place. If I'm living there, I can see traveling with the cat to set up over there or any place, but cat, dog, whatever, any pets, nah, it's not mine. Man, I'm at my people's place. This is their cat, so I enjoy the cat. I like the cat, but I'm not a pet guy. But yeah, what are you guys travel plans? You got Vietnam on her just Drees, he's talking about Vietnam. We got 9 people in the chat. Let me know where you guys thinking about traveling to. What's this right here? Okay. I think I'm gonna have to experiment a little bit more with some of these lives too, because StreamYard has straight up changed up the whole landscape of everything here. But sometimes, man, like I said, you got good weather, good days like today. Just gotta take advantage of it. Just gotta make sure we document this. This time of year is so quick too. Tomorrow, a heavy wind could come through and blow all these leaves away. You be like, dang, what happened? All we got is bony, skinny, skinny branches, trees, just looking dead. So right now it's a nice colorful backdrop. Got to use it. So you had to take one of your cats to the adoption, wouldn't stop scratching up everything. Damn. Anything and everything, huh? Yeah, this one ain't too bad with that. She does get in her little she gets in a little mood sometimes. She's never really like most of the time when she's scratching something it's kind of obvious. Like you got one of those little shopping bags, the thicker plastic ones. And if it's by the door, and she knows I let her out in the morning. I let her out here. So if I don't let her out, she might start scratching at that bag, which even if she ripped up that bag, it wouldn't be a big deal. But every once in a while, she'll scratch on something like the door. And he's like, hey, you gotta yell at her to stop scratching that. But she's smart though. She get it. She'll be scratching something. I'll look at her. She'll be like, ooh. She'll do the down look like that. She kind of act like a dog in that way. Okay, hold on. Let me see. We got like to go to Mexico in 2026, but it looks like it's a bit dangerous. Turbulence over there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've been hearing some things they say, threatening gringos and stuff like that, but I don't hear that from Americans that are there. So sometimes the internet gets a little overly overly paranoid with some of these things. And I would say yes, you definitely want to exercise caution before you go anywhere. If it sounds, if even if that stuff is popping up, um, even if it's fake, you still want to find out how legit it is or not. I spent a lot of time in Mexico. before. And there's always Mexico always gets a bad rap for being dangerous. And yeah, I would say during COVID, the whole time during that, I was over there and it was a good time there. I mean, they weren't as strict on a lot of things. So you could live a little bit more. And they definitely loosened up sooner than in the States. So that was good. And I think as a whole, their tourist economy definitely profited off that because it was one of the few places in the world where you didn't need uh, any special form to travel to fly. So yeah, Mexico will always have a special place just for that. That moment in time when the world was acting crazy, Mexico was you know what we gonna do what we do, you know. So can't take that from them. So that's one thing too. Like when I hear this stuff about them threatening Americans, I'm like, that don't make no damn sense. That don't make no sense at all. Like it almost seems like it's coming from outside to make Mexico look bad because they don't want Mexico getting that tourist money. But I don't know. I can't say for sure, but the way the world's working now, you never know. Uh, what what do you do with her when you travel? Oh yeah, she's not my cat. You know, it's my people's cat, family's cat. So you know, my nephew asked, is like, would you travel with this cat? I'm like, nope. Like, don't don't try to pawn that joint off on me. That's your cat. You know what I mean? Get it? I enjoy the cat. I like the cat a lot. I think it's actually has a really good personality. This cat does, but that don't mean I'm trying to travel with a cat. I don't know. There's no reason. I don't think they'll be giving up that cat anytime soon. Anyway, she's already spaded. Um, she's kind of goofy sometimes. Like she'll run around and be chasing stuff in the house. And you're like, what are you doing? Like there's nothing there. She just start running. Or if she's bored enough and you're walking, you can tell she gets in that mode and she's like, all right, I'm gonna come get you. And then she'll hide behind a little wall or a corner. And then as soon as you make a move, she'll jump out, run by, and like she'll tag your foot. Like she'll just no claws, no nothing, just like hit your foot and then just walk by. Like I never knew cats acted like that, but this one does. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I guess we got the retirement crowd, the retirement crowd, maybe a few people that's off on lunch. But yeah, we're gonna get some more videos out real soon. Today, like I said, I'm gonna continue working on the one going through, and I think it's good cinematography. We got two camera angles showing some of the leaves uh, out in the park nearby, and talking about talking about my future plans of travel as well. There, but yeah, I think this is a slow time period of the day to go live, but I did that on purpose. I don't really want to be doing too much, and it's just a good time of day. I'm like, all right, the sun is out, weather's good. I'm going live now. I'm not waiting for anything else. So, but yeah, I appreciate all y'all for coming through. Let me see if we got any more questions. Yeah, we got one. What's it? Yeah. Uh, yeah, I'm in the DC area, Maryland, DC, Virginia. So for now, I don't think I'm gonna be here that much longer, to tell you the truth. But been here long enough this year. But yeah, I might make some. Who knows? I might make some trips down south, maybe west. But definitely gonna be out of country soon. I don't think I'm gonna be here for the holidays. Put it like that. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be here for Thanksgiving or any of that. Just because it's too hectic of a time. You know, everybody's trying to do everything. Everybody's trying to get that turkey, get that ham, get on the road, see the family, pack up the kids, do all this. They everywhere too. They be you can't avoid the you can't avoid them. I noticed one year for Thanksgiving I was in Paris, France, and it was like the best time of the year to see all the monuments. I mean, it was a little cold there, but all the museums and everything, it was like nobody there, no lines. Maybe I should do that again. Paris is different now. That I'm talking about back in 20, was that like 2009? No, 2006, 7. When I was there for Thanksgiving one year, and it was perfect. It was, I think, the week before Thanksgiving. It seemed like it was still a lot of people going to all the museums, and then around that time Thanksgiving, it was it was empty. I was like, oh, this is nice. There was only French, only Parisians there, no tourists. Uh, yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier. The government shut down. I just last week I flew out to California and then came back flew, landed, left there the same day, came back. My flights were good. There was no issues. I didn't see a bunch of cancellations. The airport didn't look like it had any cancellations, but that was last week. So yeah, I don't know if I think all the cancellations started hitting like within the last couple days, but now they're about to open back up. I think the government shutdown is pretty much over, or we're gonna know by this evening if they don't know already by now. But they did the first. I think they had. I don't know how this stuff works, but I guess they had their first vote last night. They had what they needed to basically open back up. So they're gonna have another little vote today, and then that should make it official. But yeah, they said like active duty military aren't getting paid and stuff, and air traffic controllers aren't getting paid. That's a wrap. Whoever is holding up that process got to know. They. I don't care what side you on. You fucking your own people over in some shape, form, or fashion. So hopefully those politicians get back to work. Stop messing with folks. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on in the world, man. A lot of stuff going on in the world. I know I travel a lot, and you hear all this stuff about people talking about how messed up the United States is and all that. And we got problems. Let's not we ain't even gonna front like we ain't got problems. Every country has problems. Every country has problems. A lot of times I travel to these places, I don't get into their politics on purpose. They be telling me about stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, hey, okay, cool. Like we got enough. If I really want to get involved with stuff like that or get concerned about stuff, and I'll offline, if I meet you in real life, I will have discussions about some of that stuff, right? But for me to talk about uh the United States like we're not, we still don't have a lot of benefits here, it's crazy. It's like a hawk flying real low right here, right there. But we still have a lot of advantages here. It's just, to tell you the truth, I think depending on where you are in life, what stage you are, um, a lot for some reason, a lot of military vets retire and move out of country. And a lot of it is just because, we've been pressed to the max for a long time, depending on what you did, obviously. But you've had timelines, you've had all this, you've been under stress for, a long time. And then when you get out, you get your retirement or whatever, you get your benefits, here in the States, they're not gonna take you that far, right? So it just makes sense for you to go someplace where you can maximize that benefit, relax. And his other thing, you probably traveled around the world. Your foreign cultures are not foreign to you. Like, a little bit about assimilating to other cultures. And I'll give that benefit too to US veterans, right? Because those are the ones I know. I'm not saying other veterans from other countries aren't the same, but it seems like if you wanted uh, people to from a foreign land to be in your country, you probably want U.S. veterans, right? At least mature ones, ones that have done at least 20 years in, retired, because they're going to be a little bit more cultured in certain ways. Even if they don't speak the language, they've been around other cultures enough to know that things are just different. The pace moves different, all of that. So, um, and a lot of us will take interest in other people's cultures, other countries' cultures. So, can't wait to get back to watch your live. Just stopped in and say, okay, cool. Appreciate that, Jennifer. Jennifer always shows love. Appreciate that. Yeah, the Senate passed the bill, sent back to the House for a vote. They're assuming it passes, goes through to the president. Who knows what he'll do? But yeah, yeah, he definitely. I think most of them are are ready for this thing to be over. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, politics. That's another thing about. I mean, politics is a hot subject. So if you want to get a lot of views, just jump on into the politics. You know what I mean? Like, you will get you'll get some views. Now, if you gonna have to take that heat too. If you want to, how can I say it? If you want your YouTube existence to be smooth, yeah, it's not gonna be in politics. It don't matter how. I feel like it don't even matter um, how light you touch any subjects. People still want to drag you into some kind of dogfight. People just love fighting on the internet when it comes to politics. I get it to a degree, but then I don't, because it's like, if you want to argue with somebody in real life, that's one thing. Still useless, but that's a whole different thing. When you want to argue with somebody online, it's like, oh, something wrong with you. That's how I think. I think like, oh, something wrong with you. You ain't got nothing going on, you know? Or that's all you have going on. That is what you have going on. So I understand that, which is another thing, right? Because it's like, okay, how do I make a bunch of money? I can get on YouTube and flare up people on politics and get people riled up. That's kind of actually, if your goal is to make money and make views and get influence, and maybe you have a plan to step up in a few years to some other type of platform or whatever, or some other type of subject, that might be a really genius plan. But you ain't gonna step on my back to do that by getting me riled up in your comments. Yeah. But a lot of people are, man. They don't realize they're being used as stepping stones for somebody's social media hype up. Okay, you said well, it makes a lot of sense for having traveled to one country where you had to stay for the rest of your life. What country would it be? That's one of those non-realistic questions. I mean, obviously, we all gonna die somewhere in some country. It's kind of an unrealistic question, but I'm gonna give you an unrealistic answer. I'm gonna say 1980s United States of America. Back in the 80s, because that's when I was a kid. I ain't know nothing about nothing. Shit was good. Back then, everything was good. We had good TV shows, good music, beautiful girls. I mean, we still got all that stuff, but kind of got convoluted now. So yeah, 1980s America. 1980s California, maybe. I didn't even go to California. First time I was there was like late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, late 90s. It was still California was different there, boy. It was good. I mean, I was young too, so but man, one of my buddies, he wasn't 21 yet, so he couldn't drink. We would go to Tijuana. Bro, back then you didn't even need you just needed a driver's license. I don't even think you needed an ID to come back. Like, you be in line. They had this club down there in Tijuana. Y'all let me know if y'all remember this club. You go down there, it's like a regular nightclub. You drinking. A lot of the 18-year-olds would go down there from San Diego, whatever. And it was if you walked from the border, it was probably like less than a 10-minute walk to this club. But at midnight, every weekend at midnight, and it was tiered, right? Like so it had stages like this, and then it had some stairs, and you kind of go down like a few levels, and then you would in the middle, they had this boxing ring. And then at midnight, if you wanted to get in the boxing ring and box, that shit was wild. Like you just get in there and box. It's a one-on-one boxing match, but they have a few of them going in, and people be, motherfuckers get drunk, think they want to do something, get in there. And I tell you the truth, I don't remember none of the fights because it was just so comical to me. And while it was going on, I was just talking to girls as they was fighting. I wouldn't even pay attention to it. I pay attention to the fight for like 2 minutes, and I'm already rapping to some girl. Yeah, it was a good time, man. I felt like at that moment in time, like when I think all the places I've been in the world, I know a lot of guys, but oh yeah, so they got the best women, blah blah blah, and all that. A lot of times it goes back and forth between Colombia and Brazil. But when I think about back then, I felt like we had the best looking women on the planet just because we had the variety, right? You get black, white, black and white, Hispanic, Asian, all of them were there. And they were all out, good attitudes, all of that. And America is still like that. We're still diverse like that. But maybe it's just the fact that, as you get older, you get in different circles, you're not seeing as much of it. Um, People more serious when you get older, obviously, for obvious reasons. But yeah, if I had to live in one place the rest of my life, unrealistic question, but I'm gonna say 1980s United States of America. Yeah. Let me see what other question we got. Describing my situation, just looking to relax, or would I be able to earn in my time? Love it here, but I love to travel too. Yeah, man. Yeah, no shade to the US at all. You think about it, a lot of people talk all this stuff about this country, but you don't see people from other countries, very few people from other countries with the same amount of options that we got. I'll talk about this. One thing I talk about, this is a very simple thing. It's not exclusive to America, but it really applies to Americans. But You think about technology, right? If you were born in the Western world, America especially, but if you were born in the Western world or a country where English is spoken widely, you have an advantage. I mean, I know AI and everything is making, language less of an issue now, where translation apps and everything else, but you natively understand the technology because they put it in English first. The market is in English first. I know China's coming up with a lot of stuff and they're doing a lot of good things with technology as well. They're advancing technology, right? When it comes to drones, chips, and all this other stuff. But even them, if they want to sell to the global market, they got to put it in English. They have to advertise it in English. Everything else, computers, Apple phones, uh, cameras, streaming software, wireless mics, all this stuff all the stuff we're doing right here 15 years ago would have been a college course. Everything we're doing right here. I'm doing this as a one-man show. Some of y'all do it as well, whether it's with your phone or not. These apps are coming out and coming out with more features than they're coming out with more features in a year than college courses would update in 5 years. You see what I'm saying? So like a course on certain things years ago would be the same for 5, 8 years, and then they make a few updates. Where you're learning something like streaming online within 1 year or a few years, let's say 3 years max, these dudes have changed up the whole streaming platform to the point where you got to learn all these new features. And they're not hard to learn, right? I'm just saying they're actually benefits. They make it easy for you to use. But yeah, I mean, we have an advantage being from the West. Um, I know a lot of times we want to talk about all of our problems, which is easy to point out. That's natural, right? It's easy to see your problems. If your back hurt, it's easy to talk about that. But you ain't gonna talk about the fact that for your age, you're still in the top percent of physically fit people, which my back does hurt right now. I did a little too much exercise last week, hitting that heavy bag a little too much, and then woke up the next day. Was like, "Ooh, need to slow down a little bit. Need to ease up." But other than that, man, like got a lot of good advantages being from the US. And then it makes a lot of sense too to take them overseas or to other places where people aren't up to speed on some of these things, where you can bring them up to speed, if they're working for you or you're working with them, or whatever, not trying to take advantage of them, but actually working with them. And you use it like that. And I would think for a lot of countries, right? If you have Americans who are coming to your country and they have even just this skill of making videos, live streaming, stuff like that, you're an asset to them. You're an asset to that country. As long as you're not talking crap about them, their culture, their government, anything like that, you're an asset because you're exposing, uh, you're even showing parts of the country to people who from that country who maybe never even visited that part of the country. I don't know, just my thoughts on it, right quick. So you grew up in SoCal, went to TJ a few times in the mid '90s. Yeah, man, few times. For a minute, we was there every weekend. Man, one of my boys, man, he was. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like some of the stuff we did down there. What's crazy is, I remember we got in this one fight one time. I think it was with other Americans, But we got this one fight, big fight one time. I think I told this story before, but yeah, we ended up getting in a fight. I think the Tijuana police came and stuff. It was about to throw us in the paddy wagon. I was like, hold up, man. We about to get out of here. We got to get in this cab and get out of here. They was like, all right, let us ride. But I think one of our guys had a black eye. One of the guys had a black eye, and another one was knocked out. And then a few of us was still standing. You know what I mean? So the other guys took off once the federales came up there. They took off. We were still there though. But we got out of there. It was a funny story though. Funny drunk times. That's what happens when young people drink a lot of alcohol, man. That is guaranteed to happen. But yeah, it was good times then. But today I feel like you gotta California, even Tijuana. Right now, Tijuana has California prices from last year or from 2 years ago. So it's like maybe not on gas. I don't know what their gas situation is like, but I feel like the hotel situation. San Diego, they got these spots in San Diego, downtown San Diego, or right outside of downtown. And they'll charge you 200 and something dollars for the night, then charge you a 45 resort tax. It's like, bro, this ain't no resort. This is not a resort. Like, this is the Sheraton, man. Like it ain't no resort. So calm down with your overpricing, price gouging. I'm thinking like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like people should really fix that situation, whatever it is with the prices that are being hiked up there, why it's being hiked up, if it's taxes, if it boils back to taxes. But I feel like it's just pure greed. I feel like people charging higher prices because they can. Like, oh yeah, we got all these people here. The hotels are maxed out. We're gonna raise it up. We're gonna raise it up ridiculous. It used to be 125, 150 a night. Nah, we doing 275 minimum. Yeah, it's a serious money grab over there. And I feel like the people who grabbing the money ain't even gonna spend it in California. The people who run those hotels and all that, they're not spending it in California. They gonna take that money right out of state, maybe out of country. You know, I was talking about this with somebody the other day. I feel like a lot of the states that were early to legalize marijuana, it was almost like a play on people to keep people docile. You know, make sure they don't raise up and revolt or raise up and question the status quo. You know, you can revolt politically too, and just, you know, your state is one way, and then all of a sudden everybody just like, nah, we ain't supporting none of that, and they just revolt on the ballot and switch the whole thing up, get rid of all their, you know, senators, governors, and all of that, and vote the other way. Because it just seems like the states that were early to legalize weed and everything just started implementing crazy ass policies that made no sense. It's like, how, even if it sounds good, like how does that really play out? Like it sounds good if you were a 5-year old talking about that. But if you're an adult and you're like, okay, if we do this, then after a few years, how do we pay for this? How does this function? How does this continue to work if we go down this path? But I don't know. We seeing a lot of stuff now though. But like I said, like I don't think uh when they try to get everybody involved or caring about politics, it's just not a good sign. Like that's not what people should be. People's life shouldn't be revolving around politics. That's not why we're here on this planet. That's not how we were evolved to be here. And especially with the information age where you can get all these opinions any time of the day, all day, 24/7, every day. You can get these opinions. So that's kind of why I try to keep my content very some for the young folks, you go my content is boring to you. And I don't care. I do not care. If you under if you under 30 and you think my stuff is boring, I don't care. You know what I mean? This ain't for you. You really what you say about my stuff don't matter to me. But for people who lived a little bit already, I would say, like a lot of times I'm trying to give more of a vibe in my videos, more of a relaxation. A few times there might be some excitement going on, something, drive some of that. But I think there's enough push and pulling going on all over the place, all over the internet, or you don't need it from a YouTuber, another YouTuber, put it like that. Now, if I can implement some comedy, some of my comedy or something else, or, you know, just a little bit of emotion. Maybe you might see me do something in the future where I'm doing more of a movie style and I'm putting a little, testing out a little bit of emotion here and there. That might be a way to go. But you're never gonna see me that whole TikTok trend and overly stimulated type of stuff. Nah, bro. Not good for your mental health long term. Not good for mine anyway. I like I like being able to watch something, and I've watched all kind of stuff. I watch some stuff that's for young folks, right? Some stuff that's for old folks. I watch stuff that's very educational. Some stuff that's just pure internet junk, but I limit that type of stuff. Um, but for me, I do like to learn things. I do like to, even I even catch myself watching military videos sometimes. Stuff on, I served in the military. I know about a lot of these things, but I'll catch my feed showing me stuff about U.S. carrier strike group and what they're capable of. I kind of know what they're capable of, but sometimes it's just good to see it, from a different angle. And it's kind of cool. But yeah, man, fall season is good, man. This is the season of contemplation. Contemplation, right? We're changing seasons, colorful leaves, good weather still, good sunlight, grown folk season. When I travel, do I mainly stay in Airbnbs or hotels? I do both. I do both. Um, when I was in Lima, for some reason, all like a bunch of the Airbnbs I stayed at were just misses. The first one I stayed at was loud. It was in a good location, real good location, but it was loud. They were working on stuff next door. I was like, bro, come on, man. Like they were literally banging and drilling on the joint right next to me. I was like, yo, yeah, you can't expect me to stay here. I was messaging Airbnb like, yo, you see what's going on? Y'all need footage? I've done that a few times too, even in Argentina, Buenos Aires. I had one spot and it had a balcony door, and that balcony connected to other Airbnbs. And they just had like a little thing, like not even this high, like a little glass divider between them. It's like somebody wanted to, they easily hop over that joint. They were like, oh no, but everybody on this level, I'm like, no, I don't know you. I don't know. I mean, maybe you own this Airbnb. I don't know, but the balcony door does not lock. I'm out of here. Give me, so Airbnb gave my money back for that one. Um, there was another spot. So the spot in Lima that I just mentioned, and there was another spot in Lima I stayed at. It wasn't bad, but it was like wasn't completely as advertised. And it's funny too because it was in the same building that International Zoe stayed in one time, and he had a room, and it was a really good room. And I stayed in a building. My room was not to that level at all. So, but yeah, for some reason, the hotels in Lima though, I had some good ones. Had They got one that's a budget Ibis. Like it's really cheap. I think it's like $40, something like that. Clean, all that. But them rooms are tight. They like Japanese style rooms, man. So if you just need a spot for a day or two and you just want to keep your stuff there, lay down, shower up and head out, it's good for that. And they had that hotel, even though it was the cheapest hotel, they had some bomb ass breakfast and food. I mean, you can get, you can pay for food later in the day, but they had some stuff on the menu that was just banging. I was like, damn. So that was, so I don't know. I mix it up. I do hotels and Airbnbs. When I was in Chile, I did an Airbnb that was kind of like a hotel. And the first room I stayed in, it was kind of loud because it was on the backside, and the people who took their break from the kitchen would be back there. It was kind of noisy. But then I asked them about that. They switched me to a room that was on the front, and it was like the perfect spot. It was the perfect spot. It was close to everything. The room was felt like an apartment, but like fully furnished, which what you needed, like sofa, two rooms. Uh, but it felt like a hotel, but it was an Airbnb. I don't know. I liked it a lot though, and it was a decent price. I think it was. I want to say it was like maybe $80 a night, something like that. But I did get really. That was a place where I ate something and I think I had food poisoning. So for like 3 days, I didn't eat nothing. I was just in that room. The first night I got it, if you know about food poisoning, you're gonna throw up. So I threw up everything till it got to the bile. Then I didn't. Then I just sat in my room. So for 3 days I didn't eat anything. It was like two and a half, and I didn't even drink because I tried to drink, and then I would just throw up immediately, like 10 minutes later, exactly what I drank, I would throw it up. So for 2 days, I just sat there, laid down, mentally, mentally programming myself to take this sickness up out of me. I don't know if that's a thing, but it worked. No, I couldn't drink or eat anything. So I didn't take any of my vitamins or anything like that. No medicine, and just willed it out, so to speak, or let it take its course. And yeah, then after like the second day, I was like, okay, they say you could die if you don't drink for 2 days, more than 2 days. I'm like, okay, I probably should drink something. So I started. I got up, walked out, got me some water. That was an event, right? Just walking out, like, dang. Got some water, came back. Next day, started eating something real light. I think I started with like crackers or something like that. Then slowly worked up. But yeah, that was other than that, Chile was cool, but it wasn't a lot going on for me. And then especially after that happened, it was like, all right, I gotta make a move somewhere else. And then that's when I went to Lima after there. I mean, I wasn't sick. I was just when I left. So I went through that little stomach illness, got better, and then I think another 3 days is when I left Chile. Ended up being there only like 2 weeks. I would go back to Chile, tell you the truth. I didn't do a lot. I was just in Santiago. and probably should go back and see more of that city. Said it sound like Tyrese. He said his music is. He's not shy to say his music is not for young folk. I mean, let's be real, man. Like, the problem. There's no problem, but just the issue is a lot of times young people make these statements like, oh no, this, blah blah blah. Like, man, it ain't for you, man. Not everybody. There's different seasons in life. When you're in your 20s, have fun, my bro or girl, but just know where you're at is not the end all be all. The world does not operate just on that age range. There's other things going on that people value a whole different metric of things. So, I hear it all the time where I was having a discussion with some older guys recently. I was like, man, these guys always try to compare their women to other people's women, right? I'm like, bro, that's borderline gay to me. If you got a woman and you content with her, ain't nothing I'ma say gonna get you off that. And if I am trying to say something get you off that, you gotta question what the fuck my incentives are. You know what I mean? If I got a woman I enjoy her, and you're like, oh man, she ugly as hell, blah blah. I don't care what you think, bro. Like, I don't care what you think, unless you my family member, and you're concerned about something else that is in there. You got a valid, family or very close friend. But if I don't know you and you talk about like, man, you think I care? You think I care? Especially if she treat me good. So I can never, pull myself to say like, oh yeah, all the girls he messed with are ducks or blah blah blah. Like that just never really. That's not something I would ever really concern myself with. I see. I just think it's a bad way to value yourself as well by the looks of the women you get. Mm. Especially when we know how fake a lot of looks are nowadays anyway. Very rarely do I see, I've met, I talk to young guys all the time. I got young dudes in my family, right? But they talk about some girl, be like, oh yeah, it's like, yeah, this chick is bad. And they pull up her Instagram or something. Like, okay, I see what you mean. She definitely looks good, but I can't even say, like, we don't really know what she looks like. She got so much stuff going on her face, maybe body as well. You don't really know if she look good or not, you know? So that's one aspect of the age thing. The other thing too is like, what's this cat doing? This cat trying to stick his. You trying to come outside? Dang, she getting on my nerves, man. What you want to do? You want to come outside? Come on then. I'm gonna leave it open for you for 5 seconds. If you don't come out in 5 seconds, I'm closing it. Come on. This cat, man. All right, she coming out now. All right, let me close up the door. So any bees, sounds crazy, right? But it's cool out here now. But the bees still come out, man. I was out earlier and see now why is it not focusing? Let me do this right quick. Boom. Okay. So I was out earlier. I came out here and I was like, oh man, it's nice. It's like I was thinking to myself in my head, oh yes, it's gonna be no bees or yellow jackets, anything out here. Picking out my hair. I'm like, what the hell? this big murder hornet, big ass murder hornet. It's like boom. I guess I hit him, right, and knocked him down. He's like sitting here on the chair. He's like, I'm thinking, man, should I chop you up right now? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let you live, man. I'm gonna let you live. He sat there for a second, regathered himself, and then just flew off. And I don't know if you've seen those. Maybe it's because it's this time of year. I don't know. It's getting colder, but they fly different. They don't fly like regular bees. They come in like almost like the in between of a bumblebee and a regular bee. They kind of just pick up and just go in one direction. They don't be all over like that. And for some reason, they like these trees. Like regular bees are looking for flowers and stuff, right? But they'll go to the trees, and I don't know what they're doing on the tree. I don't know if they're eating bark or what. Crazy. Can we see your cat? Let me see. Hold on. Let me get to this other question right quick. Okay, cool. See you later, man. Can we see the cat? I don't know. She don't like for me to pick her up. My nephew, he'll pick her up, but she busy right now chasing some bug too. She over there in the zone. Let me see. I think I got some video of her somewhere. I mean, I have it on a hard drive. I could bring it up here, but look at she chasing leaves. Crazy ass. Let me see if I can get her to come here. Come here. I'm gonna see if I can get her to. I know the camera's a little high, but if I can get her to come to my lap, then I might be able to pick her up for a little bit. She gonna be squirming though. Cat. Okay, come here. Look, she tried to attack my hand. I'm snapping at her. She thinks it's time to ambush me. And then she want to go back inside. Like, look, you can't run, attack me, and then try to hide, go back inside. Yeah. Nice cat though. I wouldn't say before dealing with this cat, I wouldn't say I was a cat person, but for this type of cat, I think anybody could get along with it. There's some cats that are just difficult, right? Right? Some cats are difficult. Come here. Come here. She ain't gonna let me pick her up now. She in running mode right now. But yeah, it's cool having her around. It's weird too. Sometimes I'll be editing, and when I'm in the zone of editing, she'll know I'm in the zone, and she'll come right up underneath and be like looking at the computer with me. Like right when I happen to be really feeling it for whatever reason, she'll do that. She'll come right up under there. Yeah, I don't know. Cats do have I guess, a different type of sense. That's why I feel like if you're trying to pick the cat up to show people, like they kind of like they kind of look at that as like you have the wrong intention of why you're picking them up. But yeah, there's there's a cat park in Lima, Peru. Kennedy Park happens to be where they have a lot of cats. I got some video there too. I was looking at it. I took some good video there. I just need to piece it together into a story, but it's really nice imagery. You can't something you can only do with a mirrorless camera. I mean, you could take the video of the cats with anything, but the way it looks, you won't get that look with any other just any action camera or phone camera. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe with the iPhone 17, you might, or the modern iPhones, you might be able to get very close to that look. But I think if, for people who are really pixel peeping and watching, they'll see the difference. They'll see the difference. But the video I'm going to drop this week, walking in the park, doing all that stuff, I think you'll notice the camera quality there as well. We try to keep it stable. Most of it is decent. I think there's some of it that is there's some setting on one of the cameras that I think it just has a slow shutter, rolling shutter is what they call it. So even though we weren't moving that fast, you can kind of see it versus the other one. This camera right here, always, even when you're moving, it always stays smooth. One camera was on a gimbal, this camera right here was not on a gimbal, but it still looked really smooth, had it in a good setting and all that. So I don't know, we playing around, man. We experiment with stuff. I wouldn't even say I know what I'm doing, but the results are getting better. I have no idea what I'm doing, but the results are getting honed in, and then messing around with the software DaVinci Resolve, getting a little bit more efficient with that as well. But yeah, for anybody else that's out there that's doing the YouTube thing, doing their own editing, filming, all that, if you've been doing it for more than a year or two, I would say, it's probably natural that you experiment with some things and maybe step up your game in one area or another, whether it's sound, visuals, or editing. I think it's kind of how can I say it? I won't say disingenuous, but to think that you're gonna grow on YouTube, and I'm not even talking about numbers and nothing like that, subscribers. I'm talking about just grow as far as knowledge and skill on YouTube, but you're still doing the same thing from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, same equipment, never trying anything new. I don't think that's the way to go, in my opinion. It's like the perfect place to use technology, and not like you have to update your camera every year. Nah, I'm not saying that at all. But I feel like it's the perfect, if you get a decent enough camera, it could be a camera from 6 years ago. There's still things you can do with a mirrorless camera from 6 years ago that maybe costs $600 now. There's things you can do with that camera that no action camera can do, no iPhone can do, when you pair it with the proper lenses or whatever. And like I said, the lens can be just as old as well. But there's things that can do that other things can't do. And then there's things that the action cameras are good at, phones are good at, convenience, popping them out real quick. You can always get better on them too. But yeah, that's this YouTube journey we're doing. But anyway, I think we slowing up with the questions. We had a few people come through, which I appreciate. And stay tuned, because we're going to drop a video within a few days, wrapping up some of this fall weather here in the DMV. And then I got some other videos coming down that I'm working on, showing more of the DMV. I might even drop back and throw y'all some stuff from Lima. I still got a lot of stuff from Lima that I didn't put out yet. Might put those out just at a random time. Who knows? Anyway, appreciate y'all, and hope y'all have a good rest of your Monday evening, or Monday morning, maybe in some parts of the world, Monday night even. But appreciate y'all, and have a good one.